What's up, guys? SirAllAboutMusic here, bringing you a album review for Pink Floyd's The Division Bell. Now, I have to admit, I am not that familiar with The Division Bell. If you guys watched my Momentary Lapse of Reason review, I mentioned that the 80s Pink Floyd, just not really my thing. Anything after Waters, just, I'm not too big on. So, to help me out with this review, I brought in a friend. This is Pat.
How's it going, guys?
Pat is a very good friend of mine, and he likes the Division Bell. So he's here to, and he's experienced with the Division Bell, so he's here to help me out with the review and make sure that I don't sound like a total fucking idiot. And as you can see, we are wearing hats. So that's our element for this review. So let's jump in. The Division Bell. The thing that I really want to touch on first is the fact that there is the main focus of the Division Bell is the ungodly amount of soloing that goes on.
Yeah.
I mean, just solos in every song.
Mm-hmm. Every song has a solo. I mean, it's great though. I love the solos.
Right.
The solos are really developed and really mature is what I want to say.
Yeah, and they're epic, and that's David Gilmour and Rick Wright.
Yeah, Rick Wright's got his own solo in what's that song called? Keep Talking. Yeah,
Keep Talking.
He got his own little keyboard solo in there. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, and I mean, and they're all great, but yeah, I mean, I think that's pretty cool. I mean, it's pretty cool, but yeah, that's definitely a big part of the album.
I think that if you like Comfortably Numb, like that solo, you would really like the song Marooned, because that song is just it's like an extended version of that.
Right.
Only it fits.
Yeah, I can agree. I can see that. Yeah, I could definitely agree with that. The other thing, as far as style goes, as far as style of the album goes, I would say that this is a lot more ambient than Floyd's other stuff. I mean, the stuff that you get in the 70s is it's rock oriented. It has a rock grounding to it. The attack on this album is a lot lighter. It's a lot floatier, a lot ambienter. Yeah. What would you say?
I think you can kind of compare this to Wish You Were Here, in the sense that it's like it's really chill in the beginning. It gets a little more intense. It starts asking questions, and it gets really intense, and then it gets to the end, and you're just like
it's like taking a breath.
Yeah, like taking fresh
like
air.
right here when you get to the top of your breath, it's intense. It's intense.
Intensity right here.
And then you go
just that relief. It's just so good.
Bam. Great. Awesome.
Well done.
And then thank you very much, sir. Thank you. And along with this ambient style comes in a lot more influence from Richard Wright.
Yes.
On the keyboards.
Definitely.
Compared to past Floyd works, because if you look at Pink Floyd, I mean, going through the years, Rick Wright slowly gets his creative control gets cut off, and by the time they get to The Wall, he has absolutely
you can't really even tell he's in there.
Right. I don't even think did he do that stuff?
He was part of The Wall. Yeah.
He was. Right. All right. So yeah, by the time we get around to that, it's he's got nothing to say. Yeah. But in the Division Bell, on the other hand, he has a huge influence on the style here.
Yep. He's got some strong words to put out there, for sure.
I agree.
Yeah, Richard Wright actually wrote one of the songs in there, was completely his song. And it's a really good song. You should take a listen to it. Right.
So let's talk a little bit about the concept, because this isn't something that I'm that familiar with, but I know you are.
Yeah, the concept is it is a concept album. I think we've already said that.
Right.
It's like a story. It's like a big story. It's like if you're reading a novel, And the beginning is just really relaxed, really chill, and you're just like, okay, we're opening up the book. We're coming in. That's the first song. Second song is What Do You Want From Me, which is asking a question. And basically,
what the fuck do you want from me?
Yeah. And the story is that there's a guy who is feeling squashed by his girlfriend or some other friend of his at the time. And she keeps asking the question, or he keeps asking the question, what do you want from me?
The fuck do you want from me?
Yeah, she just keeps pounding him. And it keeps going on. And eventually he starts going inwards and stops communicating with the outside world.
Sounds a little bit like The Wall.
Yeah, well, it is kind of like The Wall, actually.
Just that I'm just saying that one aspect.
But there's not the wall concept there. But anyway,
right.
It's he starts going inwards, and part of one of the songs, the song that Richard Wright wrote, he talks about that he can no longer speak, or he just can't pull himself to speak, and his nervous system's gone awry and stuff like that. So like that's where he's going, and then you get to Take It Back, which is like the complete opposite of the last song, and it's like really, you know, out there, intense kind of song, and it's talking about like she did something and she might take it back. She did something bad to him, and then
she won't take it back though.
Yeah, it's okay. Coming Back to Life was the next one. I really like the guitar solo on that, by the way. But anyway, Coming Back to Life was really about him kind of trying to bring himself back out. You know, like he was in here and he's like trying to take that breath of air. And then Lost for Words is like, it's like the conclusion of the album. You know, it's
right.
Like, it's
and then,
like, yeah, and then High Hopes.
And then High Hopes.
That song, I'm not gonna lie to you. That song, I don't think it belongs on there. Really, I mean, it's just kind of like a random song. But I guess, I mean, me and Tyler were talking about this. You could say that it's kind of
an epilogue.
Epilogue, yeah.
Right.
Like, yeah.
Right.
Epilogue.
Yeah, more like an epilogue. I mean, I could see why you think it wouldn't belong on there, but hey,
it just like recaps the whole concept.
Right. So yeah, I think we pretty much covered like the main points. So
chunk.
Let's get down to the 4-point review. You guys know what this is. Originality. I think the originality on here is pretty good. I mean, obviously Floyd has a very distinct style, and David Gilmour especially has a very distinct guitar playing style. But they bring, you know, they kind of rework what they usually do on the Division Bell. It doesn't sound like, oh, this is just another Floyd album. Mm-hmm. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, and this was written like 14 years after The Wall. So like it's surprising that they still kept that style that long.
Right,
you know?
exactly.
And it's still a Pink Floyd album, and it's fresh. You know, it's like a fresh album for the time.
Right. All right, and we'll talk about this isn't my favorite Floyd album. But we'll get to that with the review. I know you really like the Division Bell.
Yeah.
Flow. I think Flow is great.
Really
for a concept album, you have to have great flow.
Yeah.
I mean, that's, if you don't have great flow, then you have a shitty concept album.
Yeah, it flows just like a book. I mean, it's all there and it's great.
And the concept is, like you said, it's sort of like a book too.
Yeah.
So. Right. And then the production. And the thing about the production is it's a little too clean for me. It's a little too sterile. I like hearing the production on Floyd's earlier stuff where there's a little bit of grit to it. And I know that's due to the use of analog tape. But I still think that there wasn't the overbearing amount of attention paid to the production on past Floyd albums as there was on the Division Bell.
I would agree.
He says he would agree. We agree. We agree.
Yeah.
We agree.
Yeah,
anyway.
Yeah, okay.
Anyway. Dude, I'm making an ass of myself. Fuck you. Anyway. We get along so well. Mm-hmm. I would give this album a 7 out of 10. Like I said, it's not my favorite Floyd album. I'm a lot more particular to the Floyd's earlier stuff. But it's not a bad album. It's definitely not Momentary Lapse of Reason.
Right. Yeah, that album.
Yeah. And what would you give it?
I would give the Division Bell a 9 out of 10.
Holy shit! Tell us why.
The Division Bell. It just, everything about it is just, it works so well. And the thing about it for me is that I started listening to this album when we were in high school, and it's really like nostalgic for me. So like it kind of went along with one of my girlfriends at the time, and listening to it kind of made me realize that I wanted to break up with her. You know,
get rid of her.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, that was rude. That definitely wasn't intended to be sexist.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's why I like it really.
Right.
It really drives me to.
Inspires,
yeah. That's what I like.
So that's the Division Bell, guys. Thank you, Pat, for coming on and helping me out with this review.
No problem, Tyler.
This is a good guy. SirAllAboutMusic, I love you guys. We'll see you guys later.